For 2011, analyst firm IDC is predicting that disruptive technologies such as web-connected TVs, mobile devices, and the cloud will move beyond the early adopter phase and into the mainstream. Here to talk about these disruptive technologies and what it means is Frank Jens.
Dum-dum, deedle-dum-dum, deedle-dum-dum, deedle-dum-dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
and you
and you
and you, duck and cover.
The mobility explosion will continue with huge device factors and millions, yes, millions of mobile apps. So this is not too dissimilar from a prediction you made last year, right?
Yes, I'd say the big difference between last year and this year is as we go into 2011, the number of devices that are mobile devices, so we're talking about smartphones and mobile tablets like the iPad, the number of those devices is going to finally, after 10 years of predicting it, we'll finally see more of those shipped than PCs.
It was bound to come true eventually.
Exactly. So we'll see the end of the PC-centric era, if you will. But the point you bring up about apps is more important because we will see 1.3 million applications available for the iPhone and Android phones. Million. And now just to put a point of comparison, the number of PC apps is measured in tens of thousands. So tens of thousands for the PC, now millions for mobile devices. So that really tells you where all the innovation and energy is around devices. It's around the mobile device.
And companies are paying attention to that striking difference.
Absolutely. I think all you have to do is open up your paper any day and take a look at the ads. Almost every single Global 2000 type of company either is going to or already has announced their iPhone, their Android, their iPad app, because this is becoming a fundamental way to reach their customers and their prospects. You know, there are 2 billion people connected to the internet now, and over half of them connect through mobile devices.
You can't ignore that percentage of the population.
Do so at your peril.
The IT and media industries will aggressively position for consumers demanding, I want my web TV with web-connected TVs. Of course, when I hear this, I think of the web TV device that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, a product a little bit before its time for, you know, cheap broadband and content, you know, most importantly. But now, if you take a look at 2011, we're predicting that the devices, so think about PCs, over about half of TVs that are 40 inches or larger will have network connections built into them. And then you add that to all of the, you know, Google TV, Apple TV, Roku, and the other devices, and the VCRs that now have, or DVD players, I should say, that have network connections. The devices are just absolutely network ready. More importantly, though, is just we're seeing so much content, these really content, media and entertainment clouds developing out there.
Which is what was missing before.
That
I think
was
people were
missing.
maybe hesitant to get the web-enabled TVs when they didn't really
Where are
have
you
the
gonna
content
go?
that went with it.
Exactly. So now the content owners are starting to realize, hey, this is going to be a vital way to get our content in front of customers' eyes. And in fact, it's becoming so important, we think that Microsoft is going to be shopping to buy its own media and entertainment cloud. And Hulu's a good example of a company it could be looking at in order to compete with Apple and Google.
To get in the game.
Yeah, otherwise it'll be irrelevant.
Finally, the cloud. You've written in the report that the public and private cloud adoption will surge as two cloud power position battles enter high gear, and cloud computing as a buzzword gets ready to fade. So tell us about this battle that's taking place.
Well, probably the biggest battle is now that people are figuring out how to connect to the cloud. The question is, what are you going to do in the cloud? And from the enterprise standpoint, enterprise applications, more and more of them are being developed for cloud. Actually, we're predicting in 2011 that 80% of all new software applications are going to be available through the cloud. And by 2014, over a third of all software spending will be on software that's delivered through the cloud. So there's no question that's the future of solutions in the IT marketplace. And so in 2011, you're going to see companies like Microsoft with Azure, the platform as a service, Salesforce.com with Force.com, Oracle and IBM will jump in, certainly Google, VMware, and others are going to battle to create the largest, if you will, iTunes store for enterprise apps. And the stakes are high because the company that succeeds in winning that battle will have the kind of market power that only Microsoft has now. And they'll have that for the next 20 or 30 years.
So how is it that cloud computing will fade then?
Well, that's a bit of a sort of trick, if you will. It's just really the buzzword that'll fade away because as cloud becomes more and more the core way that companies offer solutions, and of course enterprises start buy and use solutions, we won't think about it as something cool or new or different or radical. It's going to just be the way that things are done, so we won't put a label on it.
Right.
It'll just be the way IT works.
First, you'll have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you were not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?